my God, we got Bellamy and Cassidy in the house tonight, everybody. Welcome back to RadioActive. Let's get crazy. How are we, everybody?
I'm not sure I approve. I'm not sure how I feel about that accent, Ian, but I'm doing great.
Just roll with it. That's all I can do.
Oh, it's Ian. I've learned to do exactly that.
So today on the show, we will be recapping our favorite concerts of 2023. As people can tell by the title of this episode, it is another New Year's episode, and you guys were on last year. So we're going to do it all over again today.
It's because it's officially tradition.
It has to be at this point.
It's going to be just it's going to be just as chaotic too.
Oh God.
Yeah. It won't be a good episode if it's not.
I mean, last time
around.
Oh God, yeah. And last time I called Ian a transformer, Optimus Prime, if you remember that. Cassidy called me a
Who
moose.
was it? Like somebody called somebody else a moose.
Yeah,
I called her a silly moose.
A silly moose. And that is why
I called her Canadian because I'm an asshole.
Hold on to that.
Canadian?
You're an ass.
Just a moose.
Call me a moose?
You're even more of an ass. What the hell?
Who would like to go first in telling us your favorite concerts?
I'll go first because I got shorter list than Bellamy.
Excellent. Let's hear it, Cassidy.
It's true.
Surprisingly, I only went to 6 concerts this year, which is significantly less than what I did the previous year. So I believe my first concert of the year was Fall Universe in Cedar Rapids. And then it was Fall Out Boy and Bring Me the Horizon, which I took my niece to and my sister with. And we didn't tell my niece until the day of that we were taking to Fall Out Boy. And Fall Out Boy is one of her all-time favorite bands. So she lost her mind. And then I went to Skillet, but then that got rescheduled for next year because when I went, there was a tornado warning and I had to drive through horrible storms.
I think I remember you saying something
on my way
about
back.
this.
Yep. Probably one of my worst drives that I've ever had to do. It wasn't even that far of a drive up, but on the way back, I had to take my time because it was on the verge of hailing. And I could hear all the tornado warnings just going off and my phone was blowing up. But, it got rescheduled for next year, thankfully. So my dad and I will be going to that. And then I saw Dark Divine for the first time in September, and I blame Bellamy for this. I took my friend Elizabeth with, and then Ross was there too. And it was awesome. There wasn't a barricade or anything. We got to stand right up against the stage. So it was fantastic.
Best venues.
Oh my God, yeah. It was so loud. I couldn't hear anything for 3 days straight.
Good.
And my head hurt, my neck hurt, everything hurt. And then I went to Blackfield Brides, Dark Divine, VV, and Ian was there. I invited him because this show got canceled, so it was very good to see Ian again.
Oh, it was fun, dude. What was up with Lonnie I talked to Victoria about this too, but what was up with Lonnie James Dean Rebel Without a Cause, just leaning up against the bar
Oh, he was just chilling.
Let me tell you something.
So relaxed.
Lonnie oozes a certain coolness that many people lack. He doesn't even try, and he's looking so cool. In Edmonton, when I saw them, he was talking to a few of his friends, and he's just leaned up against the doorway, arms crossed, foot against the door, and he's just bro, it's just here, looking like the coolest guy in the room.
Cassidy and I were talking about that the other night. We were talking about how it was Lonnie and Corey and are both really chill people. And then I mentioned that there's Justin from Motionless in White. It's this mad scientist energy, at least on stage. And then
literally
whatever. Actually, at meet and greets, he's pretty chill.
Yeah. But so Ian had his sign. I had my sign for Dark Divine, which said America runs on Dark Divine. I made sure to text Bellamy about it. And I was like, they gotta know about this before I
They do.
bring it to the yeah. It was great. Anthony loved it. And yeah, that was great. And then I think the last concert I went to was Falling in Reverse in Minnesota, which was December 8th, which was unfortunately the same day that I found out my grandpa died. So yeah. It was a great concert regardless. So and then I had 2 weeks off of work. So that was even better. But I would say my top four concerts that I went to. Number one obviously has to be Blackfoot Brides and Dark Divine. And then Falling in Reverse when I saw them in Cedar Rapids because I mean Falling in Reverse always puts on a fantastic show. I can't remember what the name of their security their head of security was, what his name was. I think it was like Lucky or something like that. It was so sweet and so nice. I had brought a little baggie of for a little gift for Ronnie, and I forgot to give it to him during VIP. So then I asked the security guy if he could give it to him. He gave it to him, and then during Popular Monster, which was their last song, his security guard came over to me because I was standing barricade, and he handed me this folded up piece of paper, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I opened it up, and it was the set list, and his security guard leans over to me. He's like, Ronnie wanted me to give this to you. He just wanted to say thank you so much, and he really appreciates you. And I just fucking lost it. I fucking cried, bro. But that would be my second favorite concert that I went to. And then third would be Fall Out Boy and Bring Me the Horizon. Um that was really great. Bring Me the Horizon, man. Fucking wild. And then fourth would be Fall Universe in Minnesota. So, and then fifth is Dark Divine. Sorry, Bellamy.
Dark Divine was on the Blackville tour. So,
I know.
You know.
Let me tell you something though. When that tour got announced with VV and Dark Divine with Black Veil, I was hyped. Don't get me wrong to see Black Veil, but I was most excited to see Dark Divine because I was hearing all the fuss about them. Everyone was talking about them, how good they are.
I
Bellamy was
never
over here
shut up about
hyping them up. So I was so excited. And they did not disappoint. They put on one of the best shows. Holy.
Side note, Victoria has a really big crush on Anthony.
Okay, better
I mean,
question.
who
Who
doesn't?
doesn't have a crush on Anthony?
He is the cutest little cinnamon roll out there. Ian, thanks for publicly saying that I got a nice crush on Anthony. No, let me tell you a quick story here. So we interviewed a band called Felicity a few weeks back, and I really like these guys. They're a newer band I've been listening to. I really like them. I was hyped for this interview. At the end of the interview, Ian goes, "Oh yeah, Victoria's been fangirling about you guys all week. She hasn't stopped talking about you." And I was like, "Ian!" And I'm just sitting there "Oh my God, no." But then Damien and Andrew were like, "Oh my God, that's so awesome. We appreciate it." I'm like, "Yeah," but then they're actually going crazy person. Ian, I can't believe
Way to go, Ian.
I was like, I can't believe he just did it. I'm happy
I love
you
that.
did not tell Anthony I had a crush on him though, because I thought you were going
No,
to.
there's a line. There's a line. I didn't want to cross that line.
Cassidy, that was a very good list. I'm gonna go next because I have a very small list. I have only been to 2 major concerts this year. I'm not counting Shania Twain because that ain't in my vocabulary of music. I'm focusing on rock here. So I'm gonna say Falling in Reverse. I went to last February. That was really good. That was with Papa Roach and Hollywood Undead and Escape the Fate. So that was good. Falling in Reverse, amazing. Good recommendation, Cassidy, because you told me that I should really go. So
Yep.
yeah, that was really good. And I mean, that was
you gotta go. You have to.
It was so good. And that was the concert where a woman was crowd surfing without underpants on. I saw all of it. Everything done. That's all I'm going to say. Ron Bon saw this too and told her to put some effing clothes on because it was disgusting. And we're all like, how about you don't crowd surf anymore? Nasty.
Yep.
Papa Roach's camera guy for that tour was hilarious because he kept coming up to us and saw that we were there for Falling in Reverse because we had like the lanyards. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you want to know something about Ronnie Radke?" And he'd be about to tell us something, and then someone would call him away, and he would never come back, and he never finished his story. And to this day, I want to know what he was trying to tell us. So I was very invested. But yeah, that was really funny.
Didn't you see two girls fight too?
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of fist fights at that show too. It was ridiculous. And one of the fist
Yeah.
fights was with like these big beefy guys too, and all the people around them were women, tiny little women. So we're like trying not to get punched in the face, but also being like, how about we don't do this? So yeah, that's crazy. But if you want to hear about that, go watch the concert recap because there's too much to unpack from that show. So that was one of like the major concerts I went to, and then the second one was Dark Divine, Black Veil Brides, and VV. So that was a really good show. That was definitely my that was my favorite show, definitely. Like I mentioned, me and Ian did that concert recap for that one too. VV wasn't necessarily my vibe, but I mean, like, hey, he was good. But yeah, that's a really good Black Veil Bride show, and I actually got to see Lonnie at that one, which was quite nice.
Finally. Finally.
Finally, did VIP for that
Can't
one.
go wrong with seeing Lonald.
No, did VIP for that one. Met the guys. Saw Lonnie before the show. Oh, me and Anthony were like waving at each other all morning, all afternoon. Anytime we'd see each other, we just like give a little wave.
The proper wave.
And you know what's funny? Like the one thing I want to mention about Dark Divine is when we interviewed Anthony, I was amazed with his memory of like remembering people. He remembered meeting me and Ian. Obviously, he remembers Bellamy and he remembers Cassidy. So like I was just very surprised that he remembers so many people because you do so many shows, it's like you meet a lot of people. So that's kind of cool.
He hasn't hit boomer age yet where he starts to forget things, so
No,
Isn't he like 21 or 22?
he's like
23.
23.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's 23.
He's hey, I could date him.
damn.
Hey, back
older
up.
than
That's my man. I will fight you for him, Victoria.
I will drop the mitts and fight you right now.
Who's next?
Whoever
Let's-
Who
wants.
has the
do
shorter
Bellamy
list would be a
next.
better question.
Bellamy.
Okay,
Bellamy's
I
got
have
a
the
longer
long
list.
list. I
Yeah.
have 18.
Just start it while you can.
What the f? You have 18? How?
I don't know. I don't know.
Shows on
I don't
the
know how they
same
did it.
multiple shows on the same tour. Let's just leave it at that.
God.
Okay, so first concert I went to was actually the day before my birthday this year. January 20th, I went to see Barry Manilow because he was in Nashville, and I was like, dude, that is like the best birthday present. I love Barry Manilow. He's actually my first concert back in, was it 2016, I think? I don't know. I'd have to look through my camera roll to find out. And then I saw in February, Dark Divine toured with Limbs, and I went to 3 of those shows. So I went to the one in Atlanta, Nashville, and Indianapolis. And fun fact, that was actually their first time in Nashville. So it was nice to, have them be in my home state. And then let's see, didn't have anything in March. In April, I went to 2 shows. One when Dark Divine was touring with Until I Wake and Catch Your Breath, which are both fantastic bands, by the way. Hang on, Ian. I know what you're thinking. Okay, so the first one I went to was at Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and I got tickets for that before they expanded the tour because originally it was going to end like at the beginning of April, but it got expanded through the end of April, and so I went to the Indianapolis show at the end of that month, and Mr. Ian here was also at that show. I charge tackled him.
Damn,
Like literally, I shouted, "Ian!"
fucking
ran
revs,
up to
man.
him. It was great.
Dude, I remember you guys telling me about that, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna be at the same show together!"
See, the funniest
I was
And
so
it was the
excited.
first Dark Divine show too. So
The funny
I
thing
was
was,
very- I was
Ian,
quite-
that was the show that you didn't know Bellamy was at, right?
No, I had no
I
idea.
told you. I was like, I'm pretty sure
I
Bellamy
hadn't told anyone actually. I
going
think maybe I told Victoria something. I hadn't really told anybody because Well, I really wasn't sure if I was going to get it approved off, and then I did get it approved off. So
Yeah, and then
like the weekend before.
Bellamy had breakfast with me and my. It's complicated. He's a friend. We'll just leave it at it's complicated, okay? They met Mitty and our dear friend Mary. Mary was the one, Bellamy, I don't know if you know this, Bellamy, Mary was the one who directed the Temple of Love video that Victoria and I did.
Oh,
So
cool.
you actually met her.
Okay, I know you. Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, dude, no,
That was insane. Yeah, I didn't know you were gonna be there until like what 15 minutes before you got there, and I was like, I was out back talking with some of the guys in Dark Divine that was parked back there anyway. But like, and I already managed a couple of my friends that were there that I knew through Divine already, and then I met up with them in line when I was waiting on you, and then I saw you, and the rest is history.
the rest is history.
Okay, so that's supposed to be up to what 6? Okay, so we're a third of the way there. All right, then nothing throughout the summer until August. August was, oh God, please tell me I counted that right. No, maybe I hope I counted 18 would be correct because I may have left out. I may be 19. I don't know. So, anyways, I'm sorry, I forgot the Ice Nine concert. So anyway, okay, so in August I saw Motionless in White. First time seeing them not on Trinity after becoming a fan last year, and so I did that. They were in Memphis performing at the soundstage at Graceland, which blows my mind because Graceland, Elvis, oh my God. And Chris, their Motionless was closing that night, and Chris paid homage to that. That it was an honor to that metal bands were performing at Graceland. So show how that, Elvis kind of kickstarted really that whole thing. So, and then met them for the first time, and they're such cool guys. They're really cool guys. I love them. They're sweethearts. And then the week after that, I saw Ice Nine Kills in Nashville on the Fear the Premiere tour. I sent Cassidy a picture of kind of my face. I was slaying. I was very much slaying.
Amazing. It was incredible.
I felt amazing. I don't know why my dumbass decided to wear a dark long sleeve dress shirt in mid-August, but it wasn't terribly hot actually, so I was okay. And I brought water, so I was smart. Although, since we're on the subject of bullshit hot, after so the Ice Nine Kills concert, Spencer didn't do the meet and greet because he was sick. They almost had to cancel the show, but he skipped the meet and greet so he could go ahead and perform. And it was really more of like just a quick "hi guys" photo and then go. But it was great. It was great, and then obviously the show was fantastic. The heat thing. The next week I saw Dark Divine in Nashville, same venue actually. The End is what it's called. It's tiny, but it's not a bad venue. So there, it was so hot. I was stupid and brought a leather jacket with me. I wore it on the way there. Within 5 seconds of being outside of the venue, I was like, "Nope, I'm coming out of this." It was like even the guys were complaining about it, and these guys, and Dark Divine's from Florida, so I mean, if the Floridians are complaining, it's hot. But no, that was another show. It was the 6th of September. I saw Funeral Portrait. It was kind of a last minute show they did in Nashville, but it was so good. Like, I'm not a massive fan of theirs, but it was definitely fun. I enjoy them live. Let's see. And then like, what was it? 4 days after that, it was the start of the Black Veil tour with Dark Divine and VV. I can't tell you how excited I was that was going to be a thing. I don't know if you were on watching this Twitch stream when Jake hinted at it without mentioning anything about a tour. Yep. No names, no tour mention, nothing. He just said he knew something, and if it happened, I would be so stoked. And I'm like, I would put 2 and 2 together. It's so so yeah, I went to that. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, I went to the Louisville and Birmingham shows the first 2 nights of the tour, which were phenomenal. Actually, the Birmingham show in Alabama was at the venue that they used for Trinity of Terror. So I was vaguely familiar with it, which made me happy. And I really like the venue. And anyway, it's a Avondale Brewing Company in Birmingham, Alabama. Really good venue. And it's outdoors, so I don't know why that's a plus, but that's a plus. Let's see. And then after that, I did go to one other show on that tour, so I'll go ahead and cover it now in Indianapolis on September 30th, which is Dark Divine's EP's birthday, Halloween Town. And that was the last show of that tour for me. And it was just, oh my God. Just the Black Veil tour and Dark Divine. Like, I think the coolest part of that tour for me was watching the Reaper cult grow in real time. It was just, and I thanked Andy at that show for picking Dark Divine to open for them on this tour. Because like I said, it was so cool to watch them grow in real time. It was amazing.
And the crowd really loved them too. Like,
they
accepted
the
them
crowd,
right away.
Like literally,
everyone was just like so hyped.
Yes, like I remember they start with Drowned, and almost no one knows anything, or if you're lucky, a third of the crowd does. But by the end of it, everyone knows Halloween Town. Yeah. Like literally, every single word to Halloween Town is being sung, and I loved it. So okay, and I went and see. That's it for the Black Veil tour. Now for the Touring the End of the World tour, Motionless in White, I went to 3 shows. Went to the Scranton Apocalypse Fest, which was the first show of the tour in Scranton, their hometown, at the Pavilion at Montage Mountain. Good, big venue. There was, I think, around 9,000 people there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my first festival too, so I was really excited for that as well. But just, oh my God, that was the most incredible experience. I swear, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Just the songs they played too. Like Immaculate Misconception, Devil's Night, City Lights. Of course, they played 570, which, I mean, it's Scranton. They have to play that. They're legally obligated to play 570 in Scranton. No, hearing 570 in Scranton, I've come to appreciate that song so much since then. Like, I already understood it and appreciated it, understood what it meant to the guys, but just after hearing it live in Scranton, it changes my whole perspective on it. So that was incredibly fun. And went to another show on that tour in Nashville on Chris's birthday, which was absolutely insane. I remember I saw that was the first thing I saw when they dropped the tour dates. So I'm like, wait, they're gonna be in Nashville on Chris's birthday. Oh my God, I cannot miss that show. It was great. I think he was still kind of sick a little bit, but he did really well. And I want to say it was after Sign of Life. I think it was after Sign of Life that he went off stage, and they turned lights off and everybody started singing him happy birthday. The last show I went to for that tour, which was actually the final night of that tour, was in Philadelphia on Halloween. And while it was technically the end of tour, it was also its own unique Halloween show. So much fun. Like, oh my God, that was such a fun Halloween party. Like, both undead heads, both dead as oh man. I remember a bunch of us were shouting justice for Time Bomb, or for them to play Time Bomb. But at one point, and some people were shouting Abigail, and at one point, literally all of us were chanting Abigail, Abigail, Abigail. They didn't play it, sadly, but it was fun. That was a fun moment. It was definitely a fun moment. And that was my last Motionless show for the year.
I feel like there needs to be a SpongeBob time card 2 hours later.
Me too.
No, I would not judge you, honestly.
2 hours later.
Bellamy's like the infomercials where they're like, wait, there's more.
You're on
more.
The other one in October that I went to, if I'm remembering this right, was Polaris, or some people call it Polaris. The band members call it pronounce it Polaris, so that's what I'm going with. They're actually Robbie from Dark Divine. He posted their song Nightmare when they dropped it. And like, I'd known about them about like a month before, when their guitarist unfortunately passed away. But so I was like, I listened to Nightmare and immediately bought a ticket to see them in Nashville, because it was so fire, and it was a good idea. Like, I'd consider myself a casual fan, like not obsessed with them, but definitely a casual fan. They really are good, and they like Jamie, the vocalist, eulogized their guitarist Ryan before they played Mortar, and I was just in tears. Not necessarily because of Ryan, but just, kind of built that emotion up, and Martyr already makes me cry. So
Yeah.
and so like I said, Halloween would have been the last show, but Dark Divine did 2 headliner shows in Florida. Now, I originally wasn't going to go to those. Then they dropped VIP. And caution went out the window. But yeah, and so actually I'm wearing the VIP lanyard I got. Which
that's
is
sick.
Yes, the Dancing Dead ballerina with obviously VIP Reaper because fans are Reapers, Dark Twin. I was like, oh yeah, I got Anthony, wrong crazy vocalist.
It's one of the A
Anthony to
names.
sign it. I wish I'd have thought about it earlier and I would have got them all to sign it, but I'll hold on to it. I'll get them all to sign it eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, I saw them there, and that was just, oh my God, I'm so glad I went. It was such a surreal experience. Like the House of Blues show that they did last year, which was their first headliner, and it did just that single headliner show. I thought that was going to stay my favorite show. No, this one topped it. For Dark Divine shows, this one definitely topped it. It was their longest set yet. They did 12 songs. Still no Terrifier or Hive Mind, which irritates me. No Dead, unfortunately.
Jerks.
I know, right? Like there's actually a reason they don't do Dead, but and it's not because they hate it.
They need to do the Reaper for this next tour.
Oh, they better do the Reaper this next. Oh, dude, the Reaper. That one
I
is
will literally
so
break my neck for that song.
My favorites, it's a 2-way tie for first place, was Scranton Apocalypse Fest. I mean, I'm sorry, Black Veil Tour, you're not going to top this festival. And of course, Dark Divine VIP show. There's no way I'm going to pick between those two. All right, now that I've been rambling on for 20 minutes, something like that.
I just have to say, am I the only one that was low-key disappointed that we didn't get lanyards for the Black Veil VIP?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got
I didn't get VIP, but
we had wristbands.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hunt for them right now, but I got
We just
one
got
for
freaking
Ice
paper
9.
wristbands. That was it.
That's all we got. We got
Yeah.
wristbands to know who got the vinyl and who just did VIP. That was it.
Yeah, no,
And
oh my God, that was
this next tour, they're not doing lanyards either. I'm like, I don't want a poster.
Justice
I want a
for
lanyard.
the lanyards. We need the lanyards.
Yeah.
dude.
Or they could do, I don't know,
come on. Even Dark Divine is doing
instead of
them,
a
guys.
poster-
Dark Veil Slayer.
Yeah, like a poster
instead of a poster, they
something.
could do a lanyard and a beanie and
Oh.
call it good. Because that would be basically the same
Or
price.
just like a little tote bag to carry your merch in. Those are so useful.
Oh my God, yes.
I got the vinyl and I was just like, man, I'm happy there's a coat check because that thing would have got destroyed.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna list off the top of my head every concert that I remember going to. I think the first one was Fit for a King, the headlining tour, the Hell Recreate
nice.
tour. So it was Fit for a King. They're a really cool group called North Lane that nobody really knows who they are, but North Lane is so cool.
I don't really consider myself a fan, but I know who North Lane is. Robbie from Dark Divine is a fan of theirs. And they were one of the bands performing at the Scranton Apocalypse Fest.
North Lane?
North Lane was there.
Oh, that rules, man. So it's Fit for a King, North Lane, Kingdom of Giants, I think is the name.
Yeah.
And then Alpha Wolf. Alpha Wolf is like
Oh,
number
Alpha
5.
Wolf's great.
Oh,
They're oh my God,
They're
Wolf's
so
great.
good.
They're good.
I have a few of their songs on my workout playlist, and goddamn, does that shit hype me up.
I really,
It does,
I didn't even
dude.
know.
They just
Woo! I really feel stupid for not listening to their stuff before the Motionless tour, the Touring the End of the World tour. I'd heard of them, of course, but I hadn't really checked them out. I need to. There's so many bands I need to check out. Honestly, the list is never ending.
that was a fun tour. So I'm with my buddy Frank and Mitty, right? 2 friends of mine. And we're hanging out. We're in Chicago, Illinois. We're hanging out. And we're like, dude, let's do some shots. Let's do some shots before we get out there in the pit, go crazy. My buddy Mitty and I were like, okay, well, what do we want? Like, what is there to get? And this Chicago bartender goes, here, try 2 of these. And we're like, okay, yeah, dude, let's do it. So she pours them up and we're like, down the hatch, gulp. I have never in my entire life, I've been drinking casually for about 5, 6 years. Never in my life until that moment, I wanted to puke so hard. It was the most foul, vulgar thing I've ever put in my mouth, dude. It was disgusting. It tasted like paint thinner. And I looked at
Ew.
Mitty and I'm like, oh my God. And we were both retching by the trash can. We were going to puke. I was like 90% sure we were going to just throw up. And then that would have really put a damper on the night. But we didn't. Biggest mosh pit I've seen for sure. Alpha Wolf came on and
Oh yeah, Alpha
wall-to-wall,
Mosh Pit is insane.
just bam, like shit. Yeah, pretty crazy, really fun night. Frank and Mitty left early and I stayed a little bit later and then left about halfway through Fit for a King set. And then after that was Dark Divine, Catch Your Breath, Until I Wake, and Sequoia. And that is where I ran into Bellamy. And
Oh my God, that was
when
that
I
was
tell you Bellamy choked the life out of me, I mean, I thought my ribs were going to cave in. Like, they ran up to me and just hugged me and swung me around like a rag doll, dude.
He's telling the truth, actually.
Very fun show. Super cool, really fun. And then Anthony took me on his tour bus to do an interview. And I was not expecting that.
Still jealous.
was-
I haven't been in the RV yet, so like I'm really jealous, dude.
Yeah.
Bellamy is like their number one fan. Like, if there was a number one fan for Dark Divine, Bellamy.
Okay. I swear I've probably been to the most shows. I've been to 12.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
Those are
Bellamy.
rookie
Anthony has
numbers.
said that Bellamy is the number one fan.
Yeah. So it's true. It's verified. It's
is
a scientific
verified.
fact.
Yep.
Scientific fact. Anyway.
And then the next day, me and Mitty and Mary and Bellamy had breakfast, and it was fun. It was a good
They were
time.
nice.
Really good time. And then so after that, and listen, there's some controversy kind of going on with Alex Terrible. I don't really buy into that. I just like Slaughter to Prevail because they're really cool. So Slaughter to Prevail was after that, and let me tell you something. That was probably the heaviest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Oh yeah, Slaughter to Prevail is heavy.
Crazy, dude. And you just hear him up there, he sounds Russian as right? Like, this dude is Russian. He's like, we are going to play a new song for you. Feel free to sing along. My voice is kind of sick. I'm going to try my best to not sound like shit. So we're going to do good now. Okay, here we go. Right? And then, dude, this 7-foot tall behemoth guy is in the pit just throwing people around. Like, they run into him, he's just like, yeet, just throws him like halfway across the freaking pit, right?
Oh my God.
My God, dude, Slaughter to Prevail was just something else, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. Fun fact, the drummer uses the opposite end of the drumsticks to play the drums to give that heavy, like, heavy sound.
Jesus, I did not know that.
I didn't either.
We got to, or I did like a short little interview with one of the guitar players, and I was going to do the drummer, and then he walked away, and these people beside me were getting pissed because I took up a lot of time, and before anyone could say anything else, we dipped because I had a feeling I was gonna get like jumped because I did these interviews and these people were like, man, what the hell, man? You're taking up all their time. And before they could look, we were gone. And my friend looked at me and said, Ian, you got to read a room, man. And I'm like, listen, it's a hustle, okay? The next one is where I ran into Cassidy. Well, actually, I didn't run into her. She invited me. Cassidy,
Yeah.
invited me to Madison, Wisconsin for Black Veil Brides, VV, and Dark Divine. And the week before, the St. Louis show got canceled. So I get down there and, well, okay, backtrack into St. Louis. So St. Louis got canceled, and Terry Wood and her daughter, Emily, came down to St. Louis to go to the show with me. So we ended up just saying, fuck it, we're going to go get dinner and hang out and talk. And we ended up sitting out at Blueberry Hill in St. Louis until I think like 1 in the morning. Very good people. They came down to see me graduate, which was so cool. I just graduated like 2 weeks ago. Very good people. Terry and Emily, love them to pieces. So fast forward, Cassidy DMs me. I'm watching TV with my dad one night, and she goes, "Hey, why don't you come down to Madison, Wisconsin to come see Black Veil?" And I'm like, that could work. Because
I knew that you were gonna be in Chicago for a wedding that you're gonna be in, and I was trying to remember which week it was, and then I think I asked you when you were gonna be in Chicago, and then you told me what weekend it was, and I was like, okay, perfect. And then I asked you if you were able to come to Madison for that show,
it all
and you
worked.
did.
It worked.
Yeah.
Madison, Wisconsin is beautiful. I just want to say that right out of the gate. I wish I had more time to like look around, but it was really cool. Lonnie and Jake were able to kind of put me on their guest list for the after show experience. Since I didn't get VIP, I was really grateful to be able to do that, because it was just, it was a experience unlike any other. And I tell you what, it really made this girl's day, or night rather. It made her night. This girl, cute little 21, 22-year-old, I forget how old she is. She's 21 or 22. Just to clarify. God damn it. So at first I was going to take Brandon, and Brandon just kind of had this look on his face like, do I have to? Right?
Yeah.
And
He's like socially awkward, so like, because I've asked him before if he wanted to do VIP and stuff with me, and he's like, it's not really my thing. Like, you know them more than me, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, but I can like, introduce you again and like, kind of get you into it more. No.
with that in mind, he wasn't too heartbroken when I asked him, I'm like, hey man, this girl's been really nice, really sweet. I kind of want to like pay it forward and make her night. Do you care if I bring her with me instead? And he goes, I don't care. So there's this girl, right? And I brought her back with me. She like could not breathe. As soon as I asked her, I'm like, hey, why don't you come back with me? She goes, oh my God, Ian, I would love to. And right, so I bring her back with me, and she collapsed like on her back, sprawled out as soon as we were done with everything. Um, yeah, I mean, it was so cool. And then Anthony, I ran into Anthony in St. Louis before VIP, before it got canceled, and they took the stage in Madison. Anthony made eye contact with me and pointed right at me, and I was like, yeah. And then I saw them, him, Jason, and the drummer Tristan were out at their van, and I took another selfie with Anthony, and that was super, super cool. So definitely probably the more pleasant experience I've had all year. Definitely my favorite, that's for sure. Black Veil Brides in Madison is number one. Number two is Motionless in White, Knocked Loose, After the Burial, and Alpha Wolf. Holy shit, dude. I have been on the biggest Knocked Loose and After the Burial kick. Like, since that show, I have been having Knocked Loose on repeat, dude. Oh my God. Like,
You sound like me with the okay, catch your breath and Until I Wake, but Until I Wake more prevalently. After
yeah,
that tour,
man.
like okay, well, not necessarily right after that tour, but like I guess more towards this fall when they started releasing like some new stuff. But yeah, I get exactly what you mean.
Yeah, man. Like, it was definitely up there for me. Couple things that I did that were pretty crazy. First thing I did was I broke up a fight between two really big guys, right?
I remember you saying something about this.
Yeah, Knocked Loose was playing. These two big motherfuckers were like getting into it, and I, being me, really skinny, was like, "Hey, man, what are we doing? You know what I mean?" And it didn't do any good because I had stepped back, and they just went right back at it, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself then." And I moseyed on down the road. Dog, I crowd surfed 10 to 12 times that night.
I would have been
And
so annoyed with you, honestly. And
Yeah, I was
I'm
just about
not
to say,
saying
Yeah.
that because
you're the
you.
reason why my concert experiences are always ruined.
I'm
No, no, no,
sorry,
no, no, no,
I
no,
can't
no, hang
help
on,
it,
You're
hold on,
man.
part of
hold
the
on,
problem, Ian.
wait,
You're
no, no,
the
no, no. This goes
problem.
back. No, 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 no.
You're
This
part
goes
of the
back.
problem. You should be part of the
No,
solution.
I legit have a problem with people that crowd surf that much. From not because of you, Ian, necessarily, but someone last year at Trinity 3 in Nashville. There's just one chick, I swear to God, she's crowd surfed like 15 times. Same exact area. This like all of us are catching her by the end of Emotionless closed that night. At the end of their set, we were all about ready to chuck her. It was so annoying. Like,
Was she
oh
at
my
Should
God.
have
least
just
light?
dropped her.
What?
Was she
She
light?
was light. Okay, yeah, she was light and she did it right. Like she kept her legs straight, and whatever, but still just seeing her come again and again and again and again, like she did not stop.
When I went to Falling in Reverse, by the end of Falling in Reverse's set, everyone was so done with crowd surfers. There was this guy that came, and the people behind me were so done. They yeeted his back legs in the air. This guy goes head first into the ground and splits his head open. He
Oh
gets
my
up,
God.
face is just dripping in blood.
Damn.
And then this other guy
Oh,
crowd surfed, and I got blood on my hand. And I was like, oh my
Ew.
God, disgusting. So luckily they were giving us cups of water to drink in between sets. So I had some water and I was just able to like wash my hand. But I was like, that is disgusting. And people don't crowd surf with underwear. And someone else was crowd surfing and I accidentally like cupped his butt. And I was like, that's just not good. So bad experiences with crowd surfing. And at this last Black Veil tour, not a single crowd surfer, not
I
any
know.
mosh pits. And I
which
was like,
surprised me during Dark Divine
So
set.
nice.
honestly.
you know,
Yeah, that's weird, man. Like, dude, that's something else I wanted to add about the Blackville show, Cassidy. Like, not a single person crowd surfed,
Crowd
not a
surf.
I'm
single
glad.
person
None,
mocked.
none of my shows either. I think I take that back. I think there may have been like one or two during Dark Divine set at the Louisville show, but that was
know,
it.
I'm
though,
glad that they didn't mosh or crowd surf or anything because that venue was pretty small.
Yeah,
And
it was pretty tiny.
I don't
Okay.
mind crowd surfers, but when there's a shit ton of them, please stop.
what
Like
I
that,
The
think,
if
only
it's one right after another, like you guys gotta space it out so you have at least a minute between them, you know?
the only time I actually appreciated the crowd surface in the pit was at the Polaris show in Nashville. Now, granted, this is kind of at the Brooklyn Bowl. It's kind of a small venue, like it's smaller than Marathon Music Works, but like, it's not exactly a big venue. But just the energy of the pit and the crowd, it was like I almost ditched barricade for pit. It was so much fun.
you know,
Almost. I haven't yet. Or probably next Polaris show I will. But
Really quick. Oh, Victoria, go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
just to say the thing with the Dark Divine, like why I think there was no moshing or crowd surfing. You look at like Blackville fans, majority of them are mostly just there to like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Lots of
That's
the
fair.
fan base isn't too into like the they're more just like there to
that's
vibe with
fair.
the
That's
show.
fair. That's mostly like
Dark Divine ever toured with Motionless, they're gonna have a mosh pit.
oh my God,
Yeah.
that is going, or even Ice Nine.
Ice
Either one
Nine.
of those, there's going to be a pit.
If they toured with, I don't know, Beartooth tends to have mosh pits. Like any bands that tend to mosh, you're probably they would have had a mosh pit. But then you have the crowd that was there for Black Veil and VV. Like they're not the moshing type.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like Black Veil's just kind of there to like, get money, get money, get money, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, no, like Beartooth unleashed a demon in me. Like it was last year. I saw them with a Day to Remember and Bad Omens, and I was like, again,
Nice.
shirt off.
You know what? I just find like, I know we talk about the Black Veil tour so much, but let's be honest, it was like the best tour.
Facts.
I just like, I find it so crazy that Dark Divine was the opener. And I know, I forget if it was Cassidy or Bellamy that mentioned this, but they had like such good like crowd interaction. Like by the end of the show,
They
Oh
did.
my
everyone
god,
was
dude!
involved. And what blew me away was when they played Cold and the phone lights
The
came
phone
on.
lights.
Usually
Oh
opening
my-
bands do that, and you have
dude.
like what, 5 people that
Oh,
participate? They had the whole room front to back lit up.
It
Yep.
was gorgeous. I got footage of that in Indianapolis. Oh, from the barricade. It's just, oh, it's so best. Definitely best part of their set this past tour. 100% best part of their set.
So Cassidy and I kind of have a little tidbit from Cold by Dark Divine. So it just so happened that I think there was an individual in the crowd in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what was going on for the
I
life of
have
me.
the story. The person that was at that show commented on our Anthony interview.
They did?
Oh,
I have the story right here. Let me pull it up.
You're
They said
kidding.
what happened.
All right.
Let
oh my
me
god.
find
I've
it
been
quick.
wondering what the hell happened.
Please read this shit.
Let me
Please.
okay, wait, let me find it quick. Where's Anthony's interview? Here it is. Okay, where are we? Okay, I think this is one. So this guy says, so I was at the Madison show up at the front when the show stopped. So a guy behind us groped a lady, his mom, at the front. So he was ready to rumble. And the person in the
Yeah.
wheelchair was helping get rid of the guy that was doing the groping when security was on the way. So he ran to the back of the venue. That's what was apparently
Oh.
going on.
That's a good reason to start things because
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good reason to stop. That's a good reason to stop any show. I agree.
So
Yep.
there you go.
There was one of the Falling Universe shows I went to, not this year, but in previous years. There was this girl that was standing next to me, and like her and I, like we were barricading stuff, and her and I were like talking and stuff. But there's this one guy that was like behind us, and I could already tell that he's gonna piss us off even before like any of the like openers started. And I can't remember if it was during one of the openers or during Falling Universe's set, but he like full on grabbed her ass during it. And so then like he was like shoving people and stuff while he was up there. And so he was one of the people that I fucking like punched in the kidney. And then security finally
should.
pulled him out
Yeah.
after we told him like this guy's like feeling people up, like that's not appropriate at all. Never mind the
No.
fact that he tried to do that on a 16-year-old that was near us. So yeah, people just God, that shit just pisses me off.
And I know, like, why? Can't we just all can't we like go to a show without having to worry about that?
There is a fine line between if you get in the mosh pit and you're throwing people around and you accidentally like run into somebody.
Not even in the mosh pit. Like if you're just jamming and you bump into someone, that's unacted. That's
Oh,
fine.
my bad.
Right? It's
Like,
like,
you
oh,
don't even
sorry.
think twice about it. You move on. But if somebody's like trying to diddle you, there's where you draw the line. Like, okay, dude, come on.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty like I can tolerate most things, but like if you're trying, like for example, one of the guys at the Falling Universe concert in Cedar Rapids this year that I went to, there's one guy that was behind Brandon and I, and this guy was trying to do like you would do normally in like a mosh pit, like move around and shit and start pushing people, and he was trying to do that at barricade. That is not the spot. That shit pissed us off. And then this guy who was standing next to us, who was like in the Marines, I was like, dude, don't piss this guy off because shit's gonna like and blow up.
Don't piss off a Marine.
They
No.
yelled at he yelled at this guy. This guy was piss ass drunk. He finally security was like, you need to move back if you're doing that. So he finally moved back and left. Like he left, I think he left before the second band started, thankfully. That shit I can't stand.
Oh
I
yeah,
won't start a fight, but goddamn, I will finish it.
Dude, trust me, I've learned the hard way. Do not mess with Cassidy when she's pissed off or angry, dude. Just don't freaking do it.
Let's hear what we got going on in 2024 so far. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I guess technically this isn't a concert, but February I'm going to the Comic-Con in Missouri that Andrew's going to be at. I don't think I have anything until May, which is going to be Black Veil Brides in Minneapolis, and then I drive down the day after Minneapolis to my parents' place because the following day is going to be Green Bay, so I'm going to be dead. Totally worth it. But
absolutely.
And then July is the makeup concert for Skillet. And then
Good.
I'm trying to remember. And then When We Were Young Fest, I'm going to that in October.
Nice.
So
Dude,
I'm excited.
hey,
I swear to God, if I have to choose between Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance, if they schedule them super close to each other, I'm gonna have to apologize to my niece because I'm gonna be choosing My Chemical Romance over Fall Out Boy.
Correct choice.
I was about to say, if you hear,
yeah, that's the right choice.
If we hear about somebody imploding, we were that's probably Cassidy.
Yeah.
All right, concerts I have lined up for 2024 so far. Weirdly, it's the same. Is it the same? Yeah, it's the same amount already that I had at the beginning of last year, first half of last year, which is weird, but kind of differently spaced out. So I have 2 in February. I'm seeing Until I Wake. One of the shows they're opening for Veil of Maya. I'm going to that one in Atlanta. And then there's a couple of days later, on the February 7th in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I think it's a single headliner show for Until I Wake. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But I was like, I almost didn't get a ticket for that, but a little voice in the back of my head says, no, you should get a ticket for that. It's like, okay, whatever, I'll go. Why not? Get me out of town anyway. And then May, I have 4 shows because I'm stupid. So the first one will be.
Is it because you're stupid or is it because you're smart?
It's because I'm obsessed. There we go.
Band math.
I'm obsessed. No, okay. So this is a show I wouldn't have originally gone to because it's a makeup show for touring the end of the world. It's the Houston show. Normally, I would not have gone to this show, but I just got a really good feeling about it, so I got a ticket for it. So plus, I've never been to Houston. I've never been west of the Mississippi. So good. If nothing else, I'll have that checked off my bucket list. And then literally the day after I get back from Houston, I'm going to Chattanooga to see Polaris.
Oh my gosh.
Granted, Chattanooga's only a 2-hour drive, so I can come back home and sleep in my own bed that night.
That is true.
And then literally 5 days later in Atlanta, I'm seeing Black Veil Brides, Dark Divine on their tour. And then 5 days after that, I'm seeing them again in Nashville.
Dude, you are like a concert junkie.
Which one of us?
You.
Me or Cassidy?
You.
Bellamy just takes it to a whole new level. I thought I was
okay, look,
crazy about going to
my
concerts.
Therapy, okay? I am so up beyond repair. That is my therapy.
The sad part is our concerts are cheaper than therapy now.
They really are.
That.
They really are.
Victoria, do you have anything?
So far, I just have one, and it's not like a big concert, but there's this band from Edmonton, Canada, and they're called Whale and Wolf. It's the band I got tattooed on my arm.
Nice.
They're playing in Regina. I've known them for many years. That guitar is signed by them from when I was 13 years old. 14, 15, something like that. So I've known them for a while. We didn't go see them, haven't seen them in a while. That's all I got going on. That's in January, but hopefully there's some good concerts that get announced soon.
Ian, no.
I'm planning on seeing the Struts. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Struts. Super
Sounds
good band.
vaguely familiar.
I like
They're
Struts.
from the UK, I believe. Evan Potter from Lil Star, he does guitar tech for them. So I'm gonna go probably see the Struts play. They're opening for Queens of the Stone Age. I don't like Stone
Nice.
Age. I mean, I like they're not my favorite, but I really like the Struts. So we're probably gonna go see them in April. But hopefully, like we got like Beartooth or like Pierce Vale, Sleeping with Sirens, someone down here because I need to go to another concert really bad.
So far, it's just BVB and the Dark Divine, Creeper, and Ghost.
Ghost
Ghost
Kid.
Kid.
Yeah, Ghost Kid. I need to check both of those out.
I do too. So far, it's just that, but depending on if I remain in St. Louis or follow through with moving to Kansas City, Missouri, I will be, probably going to emo night down at the Midwestern in St. Louis. Big shout out to Danger Party and big shout out to Elder Emo Company. By the way, since we're kind of wrapping things up here, we just recorded Danger Party's submission to the Radioactive Music Awards. Want to give those guys a big shout out. They are fantastic, really, really cool dudes. Elder Emo was also super nice. Really good people. And that was another concert. I've been to like a handful of Danger Party shows because it's free to get in, but I mean, you spend money on drinks. So, But anyway, and I'm hoping to do Comic-Con with Cassidy in Springfield. Hoping to.
Yep.
Like I said, everything's kind of up in the air right now with, just graduating from college, trying to figure out if I want to stay in St. Louis or move. But that's kind of what I've got going on. But yeah.
All this talk about you guys always meeting each other at concerts makes me want to go down to see Cassidy for this next tour.
You should. Just saying.
What about
Wait,
me?
where's the first one you're going to?
Minneapolis.
Let's see how far that
It's
is.
Minnesota.
Let me just play the violin here really
Yeah,
quick.
please. 11 hours.
Light weight.
I could, realistically, I could go. All right, guys, this was a lot of fun. I am very happy to hear about all the shows you guys went to. Yeah, I'm hyped for 2024. It's gonna be sick. Ian and I have so much cool stuff coming out for Radioactive, including the 2024 Radioactive Music Awards, which y'all need to go vote for. I'm sure Cassidy and Bellamy both voted already. So
hell yeah,
Of
we
course.
did.
you better go
Oh,
vote
yeah.
too.
You guys had to make it hard on us, of course, but
Hey,
Oh yeah.
the way it's gotta be.
And Victoria and I are gonna be working on something in 2024 too. So still in its beginning stages, but it's gonna be fire.
It is.
Ian and I are collaborating on something in 2024. Don't say what it is, Ian. Don't say what it is. We're collaborating on
I'm
something.
not saying shit, but yeah, it's gonna be cool.
We all have a very exciting 2024. We all hope everyone watching this has an excellent new year. And obviously, when this comes out, it will be 2024. So let's rock this bitch. Let's go.